declines the suspension of 5 years U.S. visa. The Senate removes Natasha Akpoti-Duagara as committee chair. Ondo government funds to build $15 billion refinery in Ilaje. Details of these and other stories in a moment. My name is Kingsley Iniovosa. Now on the news. The presidency has today denied the claims that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu stopped the issuance of 5-year multiple entry visas to United States citizens. Earlier, the U.S. announced a major change to its visa policy for Nigeria, reducing the validity period and entry allowance for most non-immigrants and non-diplomatic visas issued to citizens. Presidential spokesman Bayo Nanuga says that no such directive was given and described the claims as misinformation. Mohammed Idris says that the Nigerian economy is steadily improving under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Mohammed Idris made this known in Abuja when he welcomed the newly elected executive of the Nigeria Guard and acknowledged that despite the challenges, the current administration is making steady progress and successfully flattening the curve. He further stated that approximately 300,000 students are currently benefiting from the student loan scheme, with the federal government covering tuition fees and providing support for their upkeep on campus.
Over and above the citizens of this country, because of this deliberate, intentional policy of government, over 300,000 Nigerian students that hitherto were out of school or should have been out, would have been out of school, now have the opportunity to be in school because government is paying for their tuition. Government is also paying for their upkeep. This is unprecedented. I think we need to talk about that.
He emphasized that the government's intention and policy is to ensure that over 300 students are not out of school. The federal government has secured a $747 million loans to finance the coastal highway that will eventually link Lagos State to Calabar. Reuters reports quoting the financing ministry says the syndicate said a loan led by Deutsche Bank is to finance the construction of the first phase of the 700-kilometer projects. Finance Ministry spokesperson Mohammed Manga today says the loan is the first of its size for road infrastructure in Nigeria. Deutsche Bank acted as global coordinator in the syndicate, which includes the First Abu Dhabi Bank, African Exports Import Bank, Abu Dhabi Export Office, ECOWAS Bank for Investment and Development, and Zenith Bank. Manga says the initial section of the highway financed by the loan spans 47.47 kilometers. He added that the entire project is expected to cost around $11 billion and be completed in about 8 years. The Nigerian Senate has replaced Senator Natasha Akpoti-Duagara as chairperson of the Committee on Diaspora and Non-Governmental Organizations and immediately appointed Senator who represents Akwa Ibom Northeast, Senator Aneke Bassi, as the new chairperson. Senator Bassi's appointment was announced during a plenary today by President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, who also hinted at minor shake-ups involving vice chairmen of various committees in the coming days.
We have committed is to support our people, to structure their production and package and brand their products in such a way that it will be competitive in the international.
Senate has appealed to President Bola Tinubu to compassionately support the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency (NDLA) and paying 20 million naira in compensations to the family of 2-year-old Ivan Omorina, who was tragically killed during an NDLA operation in Asaba, Delta State. The call followed a petition presented today by Senator Neda Merson, chairman of the Senate Committee on Ethics. Lawmakers condemned the fatal shooting, which occurred on July 13, 2023, during an NDLA raid in the Okpana area Ivan was hit by stray bullets while returning from school, and his brother was also injured in the incident. Meanwhile, the NDLA in a statement acknowledged the incident and pledged a further investigation, adding that it had reached out to the families to offer assistance. Delta State Governor Sheriff Obuweri also urged a thorough investigation by both the NDLA and the police to ensure those responsible are brought to justice. The Senate also directed its Committee on Legislative Compliance to ensure the resolution is implemented and to report back within 2 months. Legal advisor Jacob Mark, a former legal advisor, has described former Vice President Atiku Abubakar and other PDP members in the coalition-backed African Democratic Congress (ADC) as window choppers who should not be taken seriously. Mark, in an interview today, said Atiku has been moving from one party to another, seeking the presidential ticket, saying he can't take him seriously until he resigns from the PDP and formally joins the ADC. President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan has today said ex-Attorney General of the Federation during his administration, Mohamed Adoke, was haunted globally during the oil prospecting lease (OPL) case. Speaking in Abuja during the public presentation of Adoke's memo titled OPL 245, Inside Story of the $1.3 billion Nigerian oil block, Jonathan said Adoke's memo upheld the fruits. Jonathan said he regretted that shortly after his tenure ended in 2015, the succeeding government launched what many people saw as a manhunt against the key officers of his administration. You recall OPL 245 was awarded to Malabu Oil and Gas in 1998 by the Sani Abacha administration. However, the block later became the focus of global corruption investigations, criminal prosecutions, and civil lawsuits after Malawi sold its entire stakes to Shell and Eni for $1.1 billion in 2011. The oil companies also paid a $210 million signation bonus to the Nigerian government. However, Jonathan congratulated the former AGF for the wisdom and the courage to put down his own side of the story in the book they launched today. T24 People's Democratic Party candidate in Edo State, Aso Godelo, has condemned the Supreme Court's judgment which affirmed the election of Monday Okpebelo of the All Progressives Congress as the governor of the Niger Delta states. Today, a 5-man panel led by Justice Mohammed Lawal held that the appellants could not establish their claims of election non-compliance on lawful votes and that Monday Okpebelo was not duly elected, as the appeal was dismissed for lacking merit. Shortly after the ruling, Ighodalo said he felt a deep sense of betrayal by the decision of the Apex Court, argued that what played out on September 22, 2024 was a deliberate and coordinated robbery to favor the APC candidate and incumbent governor. You're listening to News Express at Adamimogo 107.7 FM, transmitted live from Olojudo's Palace in Tuikiti. After the break, our Ondo government firmed to build $15 billion refinery in Elaje. Details of this and more when we return.
It is another refreshing time and the outpouring power of God as Christ Apostolic Church, Grace of Mercy Prayer Mountain at Adamimogo, Jesus City, presents Sure Mercy of David, a yearly fasting and prayer program where God is set to heal the sick, deliver the poor, set the captives free, and save the lost. Sure Mercy of David comes up in the month of August, every Friday to Sunday, each week in the month of August 2025, as God will be using his anointed servant, Prophet Sam Oluwalo Baba Adamimogo, and many other great anointed men of God. Many spiritual singers will be ministering in song as well. Venue, CAC, Grace of Mercy Prayer Mountain, Adamimogo, Jesus City, Elamija Village, Lekki Epe Expressway, Lagos State. For one-on-one counseling with Prophet Sam Oluwalo, register at JesusCityRadio.com. Sure Mercy of David. Don't miss it.
Glad to know you're still there. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel via Adamimogo 107.7 FM. For happenings around your news inquiries, please call our newsroom on this number 0915 786 8095. And now to the rest of the bulletin. Backbone Infrastructure Nigeria Limited (BINL) has announced plans to construct and operate a 500,000 barrels per day oil refinery at the Sunshine Industrial Park in Ogboti, Eruna, and the Sunshine Free Trade Zone. And the Sunshine Free Zone in Ilaje local government area of Ondo State. The company says the project is a joint venture with the Ondo State government, represented by the Ondo State Development and Investment Promotion Agency (ONDIPA). The refinery is expected to cost $15 billion, with the first phase scheduled for completion within 48 months. BNL's Vice President for Corporate Services, Mr. Wale Adekola, says the BNL refinery will provide petroleum products for local consumption, feedstocks for other local industries, and a petroleum product for the international markets. He said it will formally execute a memorandum of understanding with ONDIPA next following a visit to the state governor, Honorable Loki Ayedatua. On business scene, OPEC says no peak to oil demand before 2050. Oluwabi Falodo is our guide.
Even a welcome to business update. The International Monetary Fund (IMF) has commended the Federal Inland Revenue Service (FIRS) for making significant stride in tax administration, particularly under the leadership of Chairman Zach Adedeji. Speaking during an IMF-supported headquarters mission in Abuja, Paulo Paz, senior economist in the IMF's Fiscal Affairs Department, praised FIRS for the good work it continues to deliver to Nigerian citizens. He emphasized the fund's commitment to supporting the agencies as it navigates new responsibilities stemming from recently signed tax reform laws. According to FIRS Chairman Special Advisor on Media, Dari Adekombi, the IMF's visit aims to identify additional areas where the organization can offer support, particularly in digital transformation, VAT automation, and compliance management. Adedeji, represented by Chief of Staff Tayo Kolioshu, highlighted the ongoing collaboration with the IMF, noting it will continue as the FIRS transitions into the Nigeria Revenue Service (NRS) in 2026. It stressed the importance of data-driven portfolio management and strategic corporate planning in sustaining reform momentum. Still on business, the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries (OPEC) has projected continued growth in global oil demand through at least 2050, projecting what it described as unworkable calls to rapidly transition away from fossil fuel. In its latest World Oil Outlook released today, OPEC forecasts that daily global oil demand will rise from 103.7 million barrels in 2024 to about 123 million barrels by 2050, an increase of 18.6%. OPEC Secretary General Ahitham Al-Gahaz attributed the projected growth to economic expansion, population increases, urbanization, energy-intensive technologies like artificial intelligence, and the need to provide energy access to billions. Gahaz stated that there is no peak oil demand on the horizon, directly countering recent projection by the International Energy Agency (IEA), which anticipates global oil demand beginning to decline by 2030 due to rising electric vehicle use and the global clean energy transition. OPEC emphasized that demand growth will be driven primarily by developing nations, noting that fossil fuels still comprise around 80% of the global energy mix, largely unchanged since OPEC's founding in 1960. This stands further deepening the divide between oil-producing countries and climate advocates, who warn that limiting global warming to 1.5 Celsius requires a rapid reduction in fossil fuel consumption. And that's all on Business Update. I am Oluwabi Falodu.
Thank you, Oluwabi Falodu. On foreign scene, EU opens new probe into TikTok data transfer to China. Oluwatimilenya Deleye has details.
Hello and welcome to Foreign News. The European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen comfortably survived a no-coincidence vote in European Parliament today, though the rare challenge exposed mounting tensions within the political alliance that supports her. The motion, initiated by the Romanian far-right lawmaker Georgi Papre, was rejected by 360 votes to 175, a widely anticipated result that nonetheless served as a platform for critics to vote concerns about von der Leyen's leadership style and political direction. Von der Leyen, who was not present during the vote, responded in a post on X highlighting the need for unity and strength amid geopolitical uncertainty. She said that in a moment of global volatility and unpredictability, the EU needs strength, vision, and the capacity to act as external forces seek to destabilize and divide us. It is our duty to respond in line with our values. Thank you, and long live Europe. Among those who opposed the censure, support for von der Leyen was measured and often conditional. Iratxe Garcia Perez, leader of the center-left Socialists and Democrats, made clear that backing the commission did not mean endorsing all of its actions. She criticized what she described as von der Leyen's increasing political proximity to the far right, especially on the environmental policy, warning that such shifts pose a serious threat to the values many lawmakers hold there. Similarly, centralist leader Valerie Aya acknowledged that while the motion had been rightly defeated, our group's support for von der Leyen was not unconditional. Still on Foreign News, Irish regulators have launched a fresh investigation into TikTok over concerns that the Chinese-owned social media platform transferred personal data of European users to server in China, a move that may have violated the European Union's strict data privacy laws. The probe, announced today by the Islands Data Protection Commission (DPC), centers on newly revealed evidence suggesting that limited data from users in the European Economic Area (EEA) not just accessed remotely, as TikTok had previously maintained, but actually stored on servers in China, albeit briefly, before being deleted. The revelation contradicts previous statements made by TikTok during an earlier investigation and add fuel to ongoing scrutiny of the platform's handling practices. In May, the DPC fined TikTok a staggering €620 million for what it deemed improper data transfers to China. TikTok had indicated plans to appeal the May penalty, defending its position and emphasizing that any storage of data in China was limited and has since been corrected. The company also maintains that it has never received a request from Chinese government for European users' data, a claim that remains a central part of its defense against accusations of potential espionage or propaganda using Beijing. And that's all on Foreign News today. I'm Oluwatimileni Adeleye.
Alright, on entertainment, Davido Charlie Poppy headlines 2025 Afro National in Portugal. Let's join Jemima Fataya for this and more.
Welcome to Entertainment News. Popular Nigerian musician Charlie Poppy and Davido performed on the opening night of the 2025 Afro Nation Festival. Afro Nation is a 3-day annual music festival founded in 2019 by an entertainment company to celebrate and showcase African music and culture. Recall that the 2025 edition of the annual festival kicked off yesterday night in Portugal. Still on entertainment, Nollywood actress and member of the Edochie family, Rita, has seen reactions online after she defended May, the estranged wife of actor Yul Edochie. On a lengthy Instagram post, Rita targeted critics who have been calling on May to drop the Edochie name despite her separation from Yul. The actress hurled insults at the duos while lavishing praises on May Edochie. And that's all on Entertainment News. My name is Jemima Fateh.
Thank you, Jemima Fataya. Now on sports, Christian Nogar said a childhood dream of appearing in the Champions League had come true after signing for Arsenal from Brentford City today. The 31-year-old 9-inch midfielder has joined the Gunners for a reported initial of £10 million, that's about $40 million, a few plus a further £2 million in add-ons. Nogar scored 13 times in 196 appearances for the Bees and was crucial to establishing Brentford as a Premier League club over the past 4 seasons. Nogar is Arsenal's third signing of the transfer window, after Spanish midfielder Martin Zubimendi and goalkeeper Kepa Arrizabalaga, and boosted their midfield options after the departures of Thomas Partey and Jorginho. Arsenal also reportedly closed in on the signing of Swedish striker Victor Gyökeres from Sporting Lisbon for a deal worth around £70 million. Chelsea will play Paris Saint-Germain in the first final of the new format FIFA Club World Cup on Sunday, July 13. The game will be held at the 2,500-seater Life Stadium in New Jersey, with the United States of America President Donald Trump among the dignitaries expected. Chelsea beat Fluminense by 2-0 thanks to a brace from Joao Pedro to reach their second final under Enzo Maresca. Meanwhile, PSG showed why they were the reigning European champions, beating Madrid 4-0 on a Wednesday evening. But even as Luis Enrique prepares for another final, the Spanish tactician will have to do so without two of his players who will be suspended for the game. Lucas Hernandez and William Pato were recorded in their quarter-final game against Bayern Munich. However, Chelsea have no suspension concerns on their end. Levi Colby and Leon Delap will return to the squad after serving their one-match suspension for accumulated yellow cards. Maresca will, however, be sweating on the fitness of Moses Caicedo, who appears to hurt his ankle in the closing stages of the Fluminense game. To end News Express at 6, a recap of our top stories. We told you that the presidency had today denied claims that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu stopped the issuance of 5-year U.S. visa. Remember, we also told you that the Nigerian Senate has replaced Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan as chairperson of the Committee on Diaspora and non-government organizations, and immediately appointed Senator who represents Akwa Ibom North East, Senator Aneke Bassett, as the new chairperson. We lastly informed you that Backbone Infrastructure Nigeria Limited has announced plans to construct and operate a 500,000 barrels per day oil refinery at the Sunshine Industrial Park in Ogboti, Eruna, and the Sunshine Free Trade Zone located in a larger local government area of Ondo State. And that's News Express from Adamimogo 107.7 FM Olojudo's Palace, Ido Ekiti. On behalf of the production crew, my name is Kingsley